I was skinny, just skin and bone. And my mom could not make enough for me to eat. I was always hungry. So I said to her one day, Mom, how come I'm so skinny? And how come I'm always so hungry? She looked at me and said, why, son, that's because you come from skeleton people. I said, skeleton people? What do you mean, Mom? She told me this story. Long ago, way up in the frozen north, there lived a beautiful young girl named Jolie. Jolie lived by herself in a cabin. But not far from Jolie, there lived a gorgeous hunk of a man named Trapper Pierre. Trapper Pierre would go over to visit Jolie, and she was so sweet on him. He would knock on her door. Knock, knock. Jolie, are you there? Jolie, where are you? Jolie would go to the door and say, here I am, you handsome man. Trapper Pierre would say, I just came to see if you need anything, Jolie. I can see you're busy, so I'll come back some other time. And he'd take off. This would happen time and again. Knock, knock. Jolie, are you there? Here I am, you handsome man. Okay, see ya. Then, one day, Jolie got so frustrated. She said, how am I ever going to trap that man? Well, there came a terrible storm one winter. The snow piled up in front of Jolie's cabin. She was trapped. She couldn't get out. She was trapped so long, she ran out of food. And she was down to one last pile of firewood. She was so cold and so hungry. But she said, at least I can stay warm for a little bit longer. So she made a huge fire in that fireplace. And as she stood before it to get warm, a flame leaped up and burned her finger. So she popped it in her mouth. Jolie tasted good. So she stuck her finger back in the fire, cooked it, and ate it. Then she stuck her whole hand in the fire and ate that. Jolie was so hungry, she jumped right into the fire and cooked her whole self. Then she jumped back out again and she began to chew and chew and chew until she had eaten herself right up. She was just a skeleton standing there on the cabin floor. Suddenly, she heard, knock, knock. Jolie, are you there? It was Trapper Pierre. Jolie was horrified. She said, I can't let him see me like this. I don't have anything on. So she ran and hid behind a barrel that she kept in the corner of her cabin. Trapper Pierre forced his way into the cabin. Jolie, Jolie, where are you? Jolie was still scared, but she knew she couldn't hide forever. So she jumped her bony self out from behind that barrel and said, here I am, you handsome man. Trapper Pierre screamed and ran out the door. Jolie took off after him. Without much weight to carry, it wasn't long before she caught up to him. Jolie leaped on Trapper Pierre and took him to the ground. Then she dragged him back to her cabin and threw him in the fire. When he was good and cooked, she dragged him out again, and she chowed down. By the time she was done, Trapper Pierre himself was just a skeleton lying there on the cabin floor. He looked up and said, Jolie, I've never had the nerve to say this, but I love you. Will you marry me? Jolie said, I thought you'd never ask, you big bag of bones. So when the snow melted, Jolie and Trapper Pierre went to church. They got hitched, and they had a bunch of kids. And those kids had kids. And those kids had even more kids until finally I came along. My mom was right. I really do come from skeleton people. That explains why I'm always so hungry. In fact, I'm kind of hungry right now. And you all are starting to look mighty good. So you better watch out, because I just might sneak up behind one of you, grab you, and gobble you up. And then you too will be one of the skeleton people.
Upstairs.